it's yeah, last drive time. Lives in the Wirral, so it's 160 odd miles. Friday afternoon. No doubt the M6 will be its usual friendly self. Yeah. It's been a fun car though. I can't quite believe I've had it a year. But yes, no power steering. And yes, when you come to stop, it's just a bit of a surprise, the lack of power steering. Whether it's somebody wants on a Griff, I don't know. It's another complication. I heard things that they were always doing their hoses, bursting hoses. You'd have a pool of hydraulic oil. So I decided not to go for it. The journey we're about to do is actually what this Griff's really good at. It's very good at cruising. And you know, dual carriage range motorway sitting at 70, 80, be able to do it all day long. But we'll go on a few more challenging roads on the way. I've got a great sort of cut through to the motorway, and we'll just give it a bit more of a workout. I feel like I owe it to myself, seeing how, as I say, this is the last trip I'll have in this car. This is a great bit of road. It takes you down towards the Prescott Hill climb. It's a really nice little run across the M5. Owner of this car had sort of quite high up in the TVR club. He did all the right mods on it, great things on the brakes on it, new groove disc with a special sort of pad, and they work really good, really well. Good solid pedal, really nice brakes, dead easy to modulate. Got stiffened bushes in the suspension, so it's just that little bit stiffer, but it just means that you get better suspension control. It's the sort of road that the TVR is made for, really. Engine since it's rebuilt, very fit, but particularly the thing I noticed is no pinking. A lot of TVRs you get into have a habit of pinking, pick up the carbon, hinders combustion chamber. It just has a habit of making it. With this engine being brand new, it doesn't have any of that. About a 5-litre engine in a car that weighs just over a tonne. This is a later car, it's a 99 build, this car, and by then they were got catalysts on them, and the really beautiful mellow V8 was actually the early cars in the early 90s. They just sound tremendous. But it's you sort of miss the grunt of the 5-litre engine, so you have more noise, but not quite this instant grunt of the Griff 500. Still get a great sense of burbling around with this, even without, with the full cats. It's on roads like this, for whatever reason, the Griff just doesn't quite have the suspension to cope. I didn't know this was a bumpy road, but it certainly is in here. It just makes a real deal over sort of minor imperfections, and then it just never settles. Suspension never settles. I remember one time Gordon Murray telling me that his partner from the early days of McLaren bought one of the very first Griffs when it first came out, and he couldn't work out why it didn't handle, and he took it into McLaren, and Gordon said to me they worked a couple of months on it, and they ended up putting it on their chassis rig because they were trying various damper settings and spring settings, trying to get more travel, various things like that. And he says he just couldn't believe it had the worst structural stiffness of any chassis he'd ever put on the McLaren rig. So I think that's actually the problem, is that the actual chassis itself isn't very stiff. And whatever you do to the suspension, you can't actually make it work as you want it to, because it's not attached to something that is, you know, immobile. You want really good chassis stiffness to make the suspension work. But on the racers, Tuscan racers, things like that, they have that huge roll cage, and that makes it dramatically stiffer than the road-going chassis like we've got here, because it's a backbone tubeless chassis with these outriggers. But the outriggers don't really add stiffness. All they add is structural to hold the body at the side. So if McLaren can't make it work, Gordon Murray and McLaren can't make it work, well, I'm afraid there's no real hope. So yeah, I've just filled it up for the last time for the final. Well, so the new owner's about half a mile away. I just drop it off at his house. Just, you know, easy run up the motorway, just what this thing, as I said earlier, does really well. And just thinking, well, yeah, what do I like about this car and what I don't like? And some of the things I haven't liked, or been a surprise really, is I couldn't run it all year. I thought it's a really simple car. It'd be as, you know, there's nothing really to go wrong, but it doesn't really like damp conditions. It doesn't like starting when it's really cold. It will start, but if you touch the throttle, you flood it, and it's always a bit, you know, bit tricky. A couple of times it just hasn't started on the key for no reason whatsoever, no idea, but that's, you know, character again, I suppose, TVR, but it just meant you didn't quite trust it. But then on the plus side, I still love the way it looks. I've absolutely adored this colour combination. This dash is just spectacular, I think, with this metallic finish. The fantastic roof, the fact that you've got this convertible, you've got this V8 burble everywhere you go. Dirt cheap to run, forget about the engine rebuild, that's a one-off, but really good on fuel, you know, low 20s, mid 20s, cheap as chips parts. If you get a good one like this one with no problems with the chassis, this won't take any money to keep running. Brakes don't wear out, tyres don't wear out, because it's not heavy. So it's been really good from that point of view. And yeah, it's a TVR, and I haven't, you know, the ride on the B-Rose was a bit of a surprise. But then you've got that instant thrust of that 5-litre engine every time you press the throttle, and you've got the noise, and you've got the looks.